Uh, we had stopped here. It cannot be on the first paragraph on this page. It cannot, however, be denied that Ghazali's mission was almost apostolic, like that of Kant in Germany of the 18th century. I'm not sure what is apostolic in that or prophetic, and I'm not sure what is the word almost doing there. But apart from that, Paul is right in emphasizing the central role of Ghazali and Kant, respectively. Kant's in the modern civilization and Ghazali in the Islamic civilization. And even if, his assessment of their respective role might not be entirely um, up to the point. So Ghazali's Kant is a central figure in modern thought, and not just in modern philosophy. Modern. And in my opinion, there's no other figure in understanding modernity more important than Kant. And Kant's influence is widespread in theoretical philosophy, in practical philosophy, and even in art. And the assessment of beauty and genius and those topics in general. And as far as moral and political philosophy is concerned, I think nobody can even come close to Kant. Morality of freedom, which is one of the most enduring, I would say, one of the most enduring formulations of modern post-Christian morality. In political philosophy, his defense of liberalism in one of the most original and through Hegel, his philosophy also had a huge impact on non-liberal or communitarian political philosophies like that of Marx and others. In political philosophy, probably John Locke, you say, is also probably as important in. But in moral philosophy, I don't think John Locke comes close to Kant. So Kant is very central. There's not in understanding the modern civilization, modernity, in understanding enlightenment, even understanding romanticism. And in fact, his work can be seen as an effort to synthesize these two or reconcile these two. And synthesis, which had a considerable impact, in my opinion, on Hegel's on more romantically led, more romantically tilted, but also enlightenment inspired justification of modernity. And Kant had also had the Enlightenment, Romanticism. So he is the founder of moral philosophy, morality of freedom, so to speak, which is important both in ethical aspects as well as political aspects. Has a huge impact on the development of versions of liberalism, and through that he also has important effect or influence on communitarian approaches, communitarianism or socialism of different sorts. And then, and so in generally, Kant is a central figure in understanding modern humanism, either in its individualistic, and that's the dominant part, but also in its species humanism, a species-based humanism. Which was developed by Hegel and others. And that's because the work of Hegel itself can be seen as a particular or specific radicalization of Kant. So there's no doubt that Kant is the central figure in modernity. And Ghazali obviously is a very central figure in Islamic civilization. In philosophy, logic, fiqh, usul al-fiqh, kalam, also critique of Kalam. Then Tasawwuf, Irfan, and most importantly the reassertion of the wisdom, I should say, of the otherworldly character of Islamic civilization. And one of the main lesson, or the main focus of his book, Ihya al-Ulum, is that it reinterprets all Islamic sciences according to this otherworldly focus. And that's very important when we compare it to the modernity, because modernity is thoroughly this worldly. It's deny the otherworldly focus of the Christian civilization and the Islamic civilization. But in this context, Iqbal is talking, Ghazali is important because of his critique of Greek philosophy and the method he developed. Especially his critique of Greek philosophical reason. And this critique has its implication for our present, in the sense that whether we will side with Ghazali's or his method, Ghazali's method of studying alien civilizations. That take developing their critique, and then after showing their fundamental incoherence, and rejecting their core metaphysical belief, then you can, use their individual techniques and things when they are separated from their civilizational and metaphysical anchoring. That was Ghazali's method. Or you will choose the method of philosophers who tried to basically, so Ghazali is important in this context because Ghazali's method tells us, how to deal with other civilizations, and for the present, that is modernity. To deal with modernity, so Ghazali's method is to develop first the overall critique of an assessment, and then based on that assessment, learn from that civilization. After you have, deconstructed, so to speak, then you can use its parts. On the other hand, the method of philosophers is basically using what the method of philosophers is, on the other hand, to reinterpret Islam in order to make it compatible with alien civilizations, thoughts, without developing their critique. And that's what Ibn Rushd does, for example, or Farabi does, or Ibn Sina does, and that was the basic work of Ghazali, is to show the legitimacy of the work of Ibn Sina and Farabi as a method of dealing with core metaphysics and epistemology of alien civilizations. So that's when we study Ghazali, really the question is whether, when we study modernity, the question is whether Ghazali or Ibn Rushd or... So those who invoke Ibn Rushd and Ibn Sina, I mean, they're not concerned with the outdated philosophies of Ibn Rushd and Ibn Sina as such, but by what they're invoking is their method, that you basically accept wholesale alien metaphysics and then try to interpret Islam according to those. On the other hand, Ghazali's method is to assess an alien civilization, develop its critique, deconstruct it, and then take from it whatever is useful, individual parts without their civilizational roots, and then fix them in your own civilization. So in that sense, Ghazali and Kant are important, because Kant is the philosopher of modernity. So if we want to understand modernity and develop its critique, and Ghazali is the philosopher which teaches us the method on how to deal with alien civilization. So I think for me, in this context, that's the importance of Ghazali and Kant. It cannot, however, be denied that Ghazali's mission was almost apostolic, like that of Kant in Germany of the 18th century. Okay, I think that's enough for this video. We'll take up in Germany rationalism in the next one.